Shalom to the elect of Israel, to the whole flock of Israel, you Hebrew Israelites, you so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, West Indians, and Haitians. Got to give all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah. The Most High, the Heavenly Father, his Hebrew name is Yahweh. Not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, not Elohim, not Most High, not Lord, not Yah, not Jah, not Ahaya, not Allah, not Abba. It's Yahweh. And his only begotten son name in the Hebrew is Yahweh Shah. Not Yahshua, not Yeshua, not Jesus Christos, not Jesus Christ, not Serapis Christos, not Yeshaya, not Yehoshua. It's Yahweh Shah. So we got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashem, Yahweh Shah, Bahashem, Rekad, Kodash. Double honors to the apostles, the bishops, and elders of great millstone who rule well, who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all Israel, ready to accept it or not. In the sincere salutation to all the octant pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four ends of the earth, the entire world, shedding light to the hopeful elect. Shalom to the Akwath who are listening and learning. If you sisters who are listening and learning. Coming at you another lesson in truth, facts, faith, and education, of data edification, Lord willing to be edifying. So I titled this lesson, the Lord could have you on the path of truth and then remove you. And I was thinking about the lesson I did last night. As it titled the guy, the man of God, in 1 Kings 13, who the Lord sent on a journey, and he told him to go into this city and do what he had to do and leave out the city. But when he leave out the city, don't leave out the same way he came in. And what happened is he didn't keep the main thing, and he listened to somebody else that told him something. When you read that story, a so-called prophet, the guy told him that he was a prophet like he was, and the angel of the Lord told him to come and go back with him to eat and drink. Well, the Lord gave him straight orders, specific orders, to don't eat or drink anything. And he did, listening to somebody else. So the Lord could have you on this path of truth and then remove you if you don't keep the main thing. And if you don't stay humble and fearful, each and every one of us can be removed, man. So I just want to make some points on that about this guy who was on the path in some kind of way. Him not keeping the main thing, he was removed. This is Philippians 1 and 5. And that's what the Lord say, he that is abased shall be exalted, and he that is exalted shall be abased. So when you're trying to do something different than just keeping the main thing, which is feeding the sheep, make sure you're eating the roll and feeding the sheep. When you want to do something other than that, then that's you not staying focused on the main thing. This is Philippians chapter 1 and 5. For your fellowship in the gospel from the first day unto now, being confident of this very thing, that he which hath begun a good work in you will perform it unto the day of a Mashiach. It say unto the day of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. So you could have a doubt demon on you, man. You could have a doubt demon on you. Well, it tell you in James 4 and 7, resist the devil and he shall flee from you. That could be another way of not keeping the main thing. Forgetting about what's important. From the first, it say Philippians 1 and 5, from your first Salakia, for your fellowship in the gospel from the first day unto now. When you came in, there's a lot of guys that came in and fell away, and they fell away on things that they didn't learn when they came in. But they went out a different way of not what they was taught in the beginning. Dealing with lava, Leviathan is lava, and whatever else, man. There's a lot of things out there that guys, when they woke up to the truth, they didn't hear nobody saying about no lava. Is Leviathan. It's a lot of the things out there that they heard on the path that they didn't hear when they was first shown the path. So that's not keeping the main thing. And to tell you in 2 Timothy, let me get this and I'm gonna come back to this. We ain't heard nothing different. Well, I haven't heard nothing different. I have to speak for myself. I haven't heard nothing different from the apostles and the elder bishops, man, and the elders. It's 2 Timothy 3 and 14. But continue down the things which thou hast learned and has been assured of, knowing of whom thou hast learnt them. There's this female, her channel is called Royal Roots, or Her Royal Roots. And I did a lesson on it back in 2019. August the 19th, 2019, she said that was the 400 years of slavery being up. Was we still here in Babylon the Great? Okay? We still scattered throughout the four corners of the earth. I never heard the apostle say that. I never heard the apostle say that John the Baptist fell out the truth. I never heard the apostle say, Yahweh ain't do no miracles. It's a lot of things, man, that these guys, I'm talking about all these different groups, the things that they are saying, calling on most high Christ blessed. They didn't learn that, they didn't come into the truth learning that. Okay? They none of these guys came into the truth with all these different things, man. But somewhere along the path, they didn't keep the main thing, which is the reason when you woke up to the truth, you wanted salvation, man. Now it's been a little journey since we woke up to the truth. Whatever time the Lord woke you up, it's been a little journey, but it's still the main thing. And Jake is losing sight. Jake has lost sight of when they first came in. So again, Philippians 1 and 5, for your fellowship in the gospel from the first day unto now, being confident of this very thing. And this is about hope that is not seen, man. See, Jake need to see something. As Yahweh said, Matthew 16 and 4. A wicked and adulterous generation seeketh after a sign, but there shall no sign be given unto it, but the sign of the prophet Jonas. Meaning the messengers, the prophets, man. But see, Jake has lost sight of trusting in the men of the Lord. Because really, just like our family members, they don't believe that these are the men of the Lord, man. They really don't believe that. They'll tell it to you, but they don't believe it. That's why Yahweh Shah said what he said about a prophet not being worthy except in his own country, man. Because they don't believe. So they lose sight, man. And it's the Lord, because they tell you, the Lord is the one that the deceiving the deceive out of the Lord in Job 12 and 16. It say, verse 6, being confident of this very thing, that he which have begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Yahweh Shah Mashiach. So these people, these guys, they lose sight, man. Staying humble and fearing Yahweh Shema Shah. They lose it. This is Hebrews 10 and 35. Keep the main thing, man. It's Hebrews 10 and 35. It reads, cast not away, therefore, your confidence, which have great recompense of reward. For you have need of patience, that after you have done the will of power, you might receive the promise. See, Jake has lost patience, man. That's what it boils down to. They losing patience. Well, it tell you in let's get it right here. Hebrews 12, man. 12 and 1. It reads, wherefore, seeing we also are compassed about with so great a cloud of witnesses, let us lay aside every weight and the sin which doeth so easily beset us, and let us run with patience the race that is set before us. See, this is about patience, man. But the Lord got to give you that. The Lord got to give you that patience. There's not something that you can get on your own. But he give you these experiences to deal with patience. This is James. They losing the main thing. And I was just, after I did the lesson last night, I was just thinking about this guy. He had went and did what he did, right? Went into the city, did what the Lord told him to do. He left the city a different way. Because the Lord told him, don't leave the city the same way you came in. And he did that. And he went out. He didn't eat anything. He didn't drink nothing. And it said a guy, the so-called prophet that was in the city, was looking for him, and he found him sitting under an oak. So the Lord had him to go do what the Lord told him to do. He left. Now he's sitting up on the oak, right? The Lord, man. It was the Lord. And that's why I tell you Romans 15:4, the scriptures are written aforetime ago for our learning. So the Lord had him to go do what he told him to do, and he left out the city a different way. He didn't eat anything, he didn't drink nothing, and he was sitting up under an oak. Well, who had him to sit up under the oak? The Lord did. This is a lesson for us to learn. It's not about us. We're not doing our own will, man. We're doing the will of the Lord. So at any time, the Lord can remove you. You got that proud spirit. You got a problem with anything, man. Because the scripture talks about sin not with proud speech. You got evil thoughts to yourself. Listen, man. Those are ways that the Lord can just weasel you right on off the path, man. Just say James 4:9, be afflicted and mourn and weep. Let your laughter be turned to mourning and your joy to heaviness. Humble yourself in the sight of the Lord, and he shall lift you up. Let me read this. These are the things when you think when you're doing something on your own and you're not. Let me read one of these real quick. Let me see where it's at. Right here. Let me pull this up. This is Ecclesiastes. And that's why when you get those messed up thoughts, man, you got to rebuke that firsthand. Oh, it's right here in James 4. Verse 7, it says, submit yourselves therefore to power, resist the devil, and he will flee from you. And the Lord controls all things. Well, the Lord put these thoughts in us, man, just to see what's your reaction. What's your next thinking? Your next thought. Listen to this. Ecclesiastes 5:6, it reads, suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin. Neither say thou before the angel, because angels are always around us, man. They give a report. Tell you that in Ezekiel 9. The angel with the writer's inkhorn. It says, suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin, neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thy hands? Hold on. This is Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 1, in verse 6, it reads, for wisdom is a loving spirit, and will not acquit a blasphemer of his words. For God is witness of his reigns, and a true beholder of his heart, meaning your mind, and a hearer of his tongue. For the Spirit of the Lord filleth the world, and that which containeth all things have knowledge of the voice. Therefore, he that speaketh unrighteous things cannot be hid, neither shall vengeance, when it punisheth, pass by him. For the inquisition shall be made into the counsel of the ungodly, and the sound of his words shall come up unto the Lord of the manifestation of his wicked, shall come up to the Salakia. For inquisition shall be made into the counsel of the ungodly, and the sound of his words shall come unto the Lord for the manifestation of his wicked deeds. For the ear of jealousy heareth all things, and the noise of murmurers is not hid. Therefore, beware murmuring, which is unprofitable, and refrain your tongue from backbiting, for there is no word so secret that shall go for naught, and the mouth that belieth slayeth the soul. See? So the things that a person may think they saying and can't be heard, the Lord hear all things, man. Here's another one in Ecclesiastes 32. In verse 11 it reads, Ecclesiastes 32 and verse, let me read 11. It reads, rise up betimes, and be not the last, but get thee home without delay. There take thy pastime and do what thy will, but sin not by proud speech. See, because the angels listen to everything that we do, man. Everything that we say, everything that we do, they go back and give report. So again, this say in Ecclesiastes 5 and 6, suffer not thy mouth to cause thy flesh to sin, neither say thou before the angel that it was an error. Wherefore should God be angry at thy voice and destroy the work of thy hand? Let me get this. In First Peter. So it don't go into detail and say, why did this guy listen to this guy and go back to his house to eat and drink? Well, we know the scriptures say the Lord commanded him to go to the city to do what he was commanded to do, leave the city another way, don't eat or drink nothing. And he did that. But then the Lord had him to go sit up on the oak tree. Then what happened? Then here come this spirit that told him, the Lord, an angel told me to come and get you and go back. The Lord gave us a straight commandment of what to do, man. So if anybody, so me reading 2 Timothy 3 and 14, right? About who we heard and where we heard it from, right? If you ain't heard nothing different, but you hear all these different guys saying something different, you gonna go and listen to them? Now a lot of people they got them itching ears. Well, the Lord gave the hopeful elect to stick to the main thing, which is what we heard and who we heard it from. And we watching how the apostles move, man. Okay? This is 1 Timothy 5 and 6. Humble yourself, therefore, under the mighty hand of power, that he may exalt you in due time. And see, you got guys trying to exalt themselves. They're trying to be on whatever level they're trying to get to for whatever reason. I don't know and I don't care. All I know is I'm watching how the apostles move, man. And it ain't no big deal, but just some simple example that I see. It's just me personally. It's just me personally speaking as a man. When you look at the apostles, right? They're just me being on some simple stuff. When you look at their garments, there's nothing on them. Ain't no menorahs, ain't no nothing. It's plain garments. If it's just me speaking as a man, ain't nothing wrong with nobody putting whatever they want to put on their garment. That's cool. The apostles don't got the Lord name on their garments or a wolf or a lion or no menorahs. None of that, man. Just plain garments, man. But this is just me keeping it simple because that's how it is, man. Being simple, not trying to do too much, not to be extra and flashy. None of that, man. It's just me again. This ain't at nobody with no different garment. I'm just telling you, it's just what I see. It's just how I'm moving. Being simple. It's about just being simple, man. The apostles ain't doing extra. They doing the same thing they've been doing when they came in. And if you want to do something different, go ahead. Hey, it's about the gospel of Yahweh Shema Shah. It don't matter about the garment. I'm just making a point. Again, 1 Peter 5 and 6, it reads, humble yourself therefore under the mighty hand of power, that he may exalt you in due time. So here it is, this guy that was on the path, doing what he's supposed to be doing. And then the Lord removed him. And they tell you in Wisdom of Solomon that wisdom will not, let me read it. It's in Ecclesiastes also that wisdom will not remain with him. It's Wisdom of Solomon 1 and 4. For into a malicious soul, wisdom shall not enter, nor dwell in a body that is subject to sin. So it's going to come a point in time when this wisdom is going to move from you. This is Ecclesiasticus chapter 6. I want to read this point. It say, hold on 1 second here. Right, it's Wisdom of Solomon 6. Salaki, Ecclesiastes chapter 6, verse 18, it reads, My son, gather instruction from thy youth up, so shalt thou find wisdom to thy old age. Come unto her as one that ploweth and soweth, and wait for her good fruits. See, it's about patience. For thou shalt not toil much in laboring about her, but thou shalt eat of her fruits right soon. She is very unpleasant to the unlearned. He that is without understanding will not remain with her. She will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial, and he will cast her from him ere it be long. That's the point I want to make. This to them that ain't gonna remain, man. The Lord is that's the Lord taking it away. Again, it say, she is very unpleasant. Ecclesiastes 6 and 20. She is very unpleasant to the unlearned. He that is without understanding will not remain with her. She will lie upon him as a mighty stone of trial, and he will cast her from him ere it be long. For wisdom is according to her name, and she is not manifest unto many. So there's a point of time you had these men that was diligent in the truth, and then they somewhere else. And that's how cold the Lord is, man. Oh, let me get this. In Ecclesiasticus, let me see, I think it's 15. So right here, Ecclesiastes 15 and 10. For praise shall be uttered in wisdom, and the Lord will prosper it. Say not thou, it is through the Lord that I fell away. Right? Again, so Rock 15 and 11. Say not thou, it is it is through the Lord that I fell away. For thou oughtest not to do the things that he hateth. So if you're not keeping the main thing, then you're doing something else. Say not thou, it is through the Lord that I fell away. For though, it says like, for thou oughtest not to do the things that he hateth. Say not thou, he have caused me to err, for he have no need of the sinful man. The Lord hateth all abomination, and they that fear God loveth it not. So you got a person say, "Oh, yeah, it was the Lord," right? In James 1, this is James 1 in verse 13, it reads, Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God, for God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. Same thing you just said in Sirach 15. But every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust. What happened with this guy in 1 Kings 13? He was tempted because the Lord told him, don't eat or drink nothing. Well, that can be a temptation. It can be a lust. He wanted to eat something. He wanted to drink. So here come his spirit came to entice him because he wanted to eat or drink something, obviously, because he went back with him. When the Lord told him, don't go back and eat nothing, but he went anyway because this guy said, an angel came to me and said the words of the Lord. Well, the Lord dealt with this guy before this guy even saw this false prophet in the city. The Lord already gave him an order what to do. But then here you go. He did what the Lord told him to do. Now he's sitting up on the oak tree. Well, what was he thinking about? We don't know. The scripture don't say. Well, maybe he was being tempted by wanting to eat something. So the Lord sent a spirit to him to say, hey, the Lord told me to come and get you, come back and eat and drink. And he did. And that's why the Lord gave us spiritual discernment, man. You got to listen and know when your spirit talking to you or it's that flesh, man. That's what this is about, man. If you're not exercising your spirit continually, it tells you Galatians 5, 16 and 17, if you are not exercising your spirit continually, the flesh is going to get you, man. This is James 1 and 13. Let no man say when he is tempted, I am tempted of God, for God cannot be tempted with evil, neither tempteth he any man. You might have a thought and say, man, I wonder if I'm doing enough for the Lord. You could be doing 2, 3 videos a day, or 1 video a day. Your spirit might say, man, we doing enough for the Lord, man. Now the scripture says we can never go far enough, But whatever the Lord put your spirit on to do, you do it. If the spirit give you to do 2 videos or 3, you do it. If not, do your 1 video, make sure it's edifying, and call it a deal for the day, man. But you try to go outside of your spirit and do something else, that's your flesh, man. But you got to have spiritual discernment to know the spirit telling you what's the flesh. Most of the time, with me, it's always the spirit telling me, give me something. I'm always writing down precepts, always thinking about different titles for lessons. I watch certain clips and watch certain brother videos, and it inspire me to come up with something. It's rare now that my flesh mess with me, man, because I'm always meditating on the Lord, man. But it happens. It's supposed to happen. That's called balance. But you got to know if it's your flesh or your spirit, man. And if you're not exercising your spirit, mostly it's gonna always be your flesh, man. It's a but every man is tempted when he is tempted, when he is like you, but every man is tempted when he is drawn away of his own lust and enticed. Then when lust have conceived, it bringeth forth sin, and sin, when it's finished, bringeth forth death. And most of the time it's your flesh trying to deceive you, man. Let me read this in Galatians. The Lord gave us the spiritual discernment, man. It tell you in Psalm 19:7 that the law of the Lord is perfect, man, converting the soul, making wise the simple. You shouldn't be simple at this point, man. So if you got a spirit, if you got a thought that say, maybe I ain't doing enough for the Lord, maybe he ain't gonna use me. If the Lord still got you, you still know the names of the Lord, you still understand what's going on with prophecy, the Lord's still using you, man. You got James 4:7. You gotta rebuke the devil, man. This is Galatians 5:16. This I say then, walk in the spirit, and ye shall not fulfill the lust of the flesh. For the flesh lusteth against the spirit, and the spirit against the flesh, and these are contrary the one to the other, so that you cannot do the things that you would. The Lord's control of all things, but you have to always exercise your spirit, man. Even if you ain't doing a video, you're watching a video. You ain't watching a video or doing a video, maybe you meditate on the Lord, man. Everything gotta be balanced. This ain't about being over righteous, but you gotta exercise your spirit, man. And your mind have to be in the right place. I'm gonna close with this. In Romans 7, let's see. This is Romans 7. We start at 14. See the conflict of two natures, the spirit and the flesh, man. And what we see, 2/3 of our people is full of they just flesh, man. They don't got no spirit. These Yah Israelites. Now this chick came on my comment board again the other day. I think it was Friday or Saturday, and she talking about. She was like, "Good lesson, and all praise to Yahuwah." Now I just told her the other week on the live screen. She came on there. I told her the name of the Lord ain't Yahuwah. She said she know that. She said she know that's what we call him. And I told her, because she told me she was new. I told her, you ain't new. You've been around us for months now, possibly a year. You ain't new. But then just the other day, she put on my comment board again, Yahuwah. Next time I said I'm going to block her. I couldn't block at the time, but I'm going to block her. You still using Yahuwah, because she say that's the name that we call the Lord. So that means she's full of flesh, man. She ain't got no spirit, man. And these women come around us like they all in the spirit. They ain't in the spirit, man. And the Lord be showing it because she's talking about Yahuwah, whoever that is. Anyway, Romans 7:14. And I will block you as soon as I get a chance. I just forgot about it. I just thought about it right now. I will block you today. Romans 7:14. For we know that the law is spiritual, but I am carnal, sold under sin. For that which I do, I will allow not. For what I would, that do I not. But what I hate, that I do. Here's Paul telling you about the flesh and the spirit, man. If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that is good. And when you're reading, I was reading the other day in 1 Timothy 1. Let me read it from the phone. See what Paul just said? If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good. So your spirit, you trying to make sure you meditating on what's righteous, what's spiritual, and not what's carnal. Because in 1 Timothy 1:9 it reads, verse 8, but we know that the law is good if a man use it lawfully. See? So here's Paul saying, Romans 7:16. If then I do that which I would not, I consent unto the law that it is good. Now then it is no more that I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. Because that sin, man, that flesh, if you're not exercising your spirit 24/7, man, the flesh gonna take over. For I know that in me, this is in my flesh, dwelling no good thing. For to will is present with me. See, it say, for to will is present with me, but how to perform that which is good, I find not. Because the Lord is leading us, man. But then the Lord give you spiritual discernment, man. We have a conscience, man. For the good that I would, I do not. But the evil which I would not, that I do. This is why we supposed to stay keeping the main thing, and feeding the sheep, man. Staying grounded, man. Now, if I do that, I would not. It is no more I that do it, but sin that dwelleth in me. And we ain't perfect. That's why we are rehearsing the righteous acts of the Lord, Judges 5:11. I find then a law that when I would do good, evil is present with me. Because this is the balance of the Lord. So this is a fight, man. For I delight in the law of power after the inward man, right? This is the spirit. But I see another law in my members, warring against the law of my mind and bringing me into captivity to the law of sin, which is in my members. O wretched man that I am, who shall deliver me from the body of this death? That's why we need Yahweh Shai, man. It say, I thank power through Yahweh Shai Mashiach, our Lord. So then with the mind, I myself serve the law of power, but with the flesh, the law of sin. So here's the balance. But you got to put on, as Colossians 12 say, man. Let's read that. And this ain't easy, man. It's not an easy walk, man. But the Lord say, take his yoke upon you. His burden is easy, man. His yoke is light. In Matthew 11, 28, 29. Colossians 3:12. Put on, therefore, as the elect of God, you putting on. So your mind is in the spirit, man, of working. Meditate on the Lord. You're constantly looking at different world news clips, man. Filtering things through the scriptures. Coming up with titles for lessons. You got some downtime. Jake probably get on PlayStation. I know I used to. I used to love to play Call of Duty 2, the zombie board, man. I love playing the zombie board, man. I ain't played in a while. I used to love playing the zombie board, man. Trying to get to wave 100 if I could. Anyway, you got to balance. You may do something, whatever. But your mind is still on the Lord, man. Colossians 3:12 reads, put on therefore as the elect of power, holy and beloved, bowels of mercy, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, long suffering. This is about putting on therefore as the elect, but staying humble with it, man. You see it say humbleness of mind. Put on therefore as the elect of God, holy and beloved, bowels of mercies, kindness, humbleness of mind, meekness, and long suffering. This ain't about you putting on therefore as the elect and you proud with it, man. No, this is about being humble, man. But this is keeping you in the spirit because you know what will Yahushua do, man. And we got all examples of Yahushua always feeding the sheep. That's what he did the whole time, man. There ain't no scripture where you got one time when it said he was asleep. The one time, man. And then Peter and them was bugging him about when he was asleep, man. Yahushua was doing the work, man. This is about putting on therefore as the elect, doing the work, man. Keeping your spirit away from the flesh, man. If you ain't doing too much, the spirit is gonna get weak, man. That's why Yahushua said it. Was that Matthew 26 and 40, I think. 41, I think it is. Yeah. Matthew 26 and 41, it reads, watch and pray that ye enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak, man. And this flesh that's weak is powerful, man. It will it will drain you, bring you down, man. Watch and pray that you enter not into temptation. The spirit indeed is willing, but the flesh is weak, man. You gotta stay in the spirit, man. Gotta stay working for the Lord, man. And everything is a balance. That's beautiful. Let's read this. I had a piece about finna get to. I just forgot about it. This is Kazak Bunya Howder, Ecclesiastes 20 and 32. This is beautiful. I love to bring this out. Necessary patience in seeking the Lord is better than he that leadeth his life without a guide. Oh, I just thought about something else. Yeah, necessary patience in seeking the Lord is better than he that leadeth his life without a guide. And you know what wound up happening to these guys that was on the path? Because this guy in 1 Kings 13, what happened? Obviously, he started to think more than the Lord, man. Because the Lord told him what to do, and he did it. And he went and sat up on an oak tree. Then the Lord sent a spirit unto him to say, hey, come back with me. The Lord told me to come get you. But he said an angel. He said, and when you read the story, it don't say no angel came to the man of God and told him to go into the city and preach and do this and that and leave out a different way. It said the Lord came to him. But then the guy came and said, an angel of the Lord came to me and told me to come get you. That's already when you read the story. So that's what happened. And this it right here. Ecclesiastes 37 and 14. For a man's mind is sometime want to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in a high tower. So now your mind started playing tricks on you, man. What happened to these guys? Now you got these guys saying they know more than the apostles. They know more than the elder bishops. Let's not even go to the apostles, man. Let's just deal with the elder bishops and the elders. You got guys out here that say they know more than the elder bishops and the elders, man. Again, Sirach 37:14. For a man's mind is sometimes want to tell him more than 7 watchmen that sit above in a high tower. So who is this telling him this? The flesh. Verse 15, and above all this, pray to the Most High that he will direct thy way in truth. See, let me get a couple more. This is Psalms 32 and 8. It reads, I will instruct thee and teach thee in the way which thou shouldest go. I will guide thee with mine eye. So if you was on the path and then something happened, the Lord moved you, man. And that's why it's a terrible, fearful thing, man, to see this what happened to a man of the Lord. This is Isaiah 48 and 17. It reads, thus saith Yahweh thy Redeemer, the Holy One of Israel. I am Yahweh thy power, which teacheth thee to profit, which leadeth thee by the way that thou shouldest go. See, let me get this one in this is Joshua 1 and 8. This book of the law should not depart out of thy mouth, but thou shalt meditate therein day and night, that thou mayest observe to do according to all that is written therein. For then thou shalt make thy way prosperous, and then thou shalt have good success. Ain't no other way, man. Meditate on this day and night. What does scripture say in Isaiah? Let's read it. Isaiah 62. When you're not doing this, the flesh gets some type of power, man. Isaiah 62 and 6. I have set watching upon thy walls, O Jerusalem, which shall never hold their peace day nor night. Ye that make mention of Yahweh, keep not silent. Psalms 19 and 2. Day unto day uttereth speech, and night unto night show of knowledge. This is constantly, man. I want to go back to this again in Philippians. So if you get that little spirit telling you to do something different, man, you better check it. Let me see. Salakia. Philippians 1 and 5. Better check it, man. Spell it wrong. Salakia, bear with me up. Moving too fast. Philippians 1 and 5 it reads, for your fellowship in the gospel from the first day that you came in until now, your present day right now, being confident of this very thing, that he which have begun a good work in you will perform it unto the day of Yahweh Shah Mashiach, man. To the Lord return, man. Here's another one, Philippians 2. Philippians 2 and 13 it reads, for it is power which worketh in you, both to will and to do of his good pleasure. That's why you got to keep the main thing, man. Do all things, see, it is again about murmurings. Do all things without murmurings and disputings, that ye may be blameless and harmless. In Revelation 14, right? The sons of power without rebuke in the midst of a crooked and perverse nation, among whom ye shine as lights in the world. Matthew 5, a light that is set on the hill. So, yeah, I was just meditating on this guy, man. The Lord had this guy to go and do what he told him to do, and then he's sitting up on the oak tree. And what happened? The Lord sent a spirit to him, man. Because obviously, it was from, hey, the Lord did it, but these are lessons we can learn, man. That, as it said in James 1, hey, a man is drawn away when he's tempted with his own harsh lust, man. Because the Lord don't tempt us with evil, man. So, think about that, man. Lord was edifying. Gotta give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shai, Bahashim Rekah Kodash, double honors to the apostle. You know what? Let me read some of these precepts. Hold on. Yeah, your brother got some beautiful precepts, man. Yeah, see, the brother got Galatians. I'm just not looking at the comment board. Yeah, man. Yeah, our brother put it. I'll be lighting it up. So let me get I'm gonna get a couple of these. Bear with me here. So let me get ooh, that's beautiful. Let's read this. This is from Kazak Ben Yeholah. Put up Philippians 3 and 3. For we are the circumcision which worship power in the spirit and rejoice in the Mashiach Yahweh Shai and have no confidence in the flesh. That's beautiful, bro. That's fire. See, we don't got no confidence in the flesh, man. Because the flesh is weak. This is our Revelation 2 and 5, one of my favorite precepts. Remember therefore from whence thou art fallen, and repent, and do the first work, or else I will come unto thee quickly, and will remove thy candlestick out of his place, except thou repent. And when you read in Proverbs 20 and 27, it tell you that the spirit of the, let me read it. Let me read it in Proverbs 20 and 27. Because the Lord can easily remove this, man. So in Proverbs 20 and 27, it reads, that's why it's a fearful thing, man. To know that you can wake up one day and just be back in the world, bugged out, man. Proverbs 20 and 27. The spirit of man is the candle of the Lord, searching all the inward parts of the belly. But the thing is, you got to have confidence, like I said, Philippians 1 and 5, that hey, from the first day until now, the Lord that performed a good work in you will perform it until your house shall return, man. You got to believe that for yourself, man. You gotta believe that, man. And that ain't you. That's not you being proud and arrogant. That's you in Psalms 44 and 8. It said, we boast in the Lord all the day long. Let me read it. It's just you boasting in your how about Shema Shai, man. This is Psalms 44 and 8. In God we boast all the day long and praise thy name forever. Hey, you supposed to put on, therefore, as the elect, man. You're supposed to put on in humbleness. It's not just you boasting in Yahweh Shema Shai, man. It say from the first day until now, being confident that he that performed a good work in you will continue until your house shall come, man. You supposed to put on in humbleness. Beautiful. This is Kazak Ban Yehoda, 2 Corinthians 4 and 16. It reads, for which cause we faint not, but though our outward man perish, yet the inward man is renewed day by day. And that's in Romans 2, 28 and 29, man. It's about the inward man. And this is what we are working on, man. So yeah, man. Lord was edifying. Let me read this. Kazak Ban Yehoda, 2 Ezra 16 and 75. Be ye not afraid, neither doubt, for power is your God, and the God of them who keep my commandments and precepts. Saith Yahweh Shema Shah power. Let not your sins weigh you down, and let not your iniquities lift up themselves. See? Plain, man. Plain, man. There was another I want to read about the God. I can't think of where it's at right off. I want to get it too. But the Lord gave us a spirit to do his will, man. Oh, that's what it is. Wisdom of Solomon, real quick. Let me get this. We were just reading this at camp too. Is that 3? Let me see. Right. Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 11, it reads. Let's read verse 9. Wisdom of Solomon 3 and 9, it reads, they that put their trust in him shall understand the truth, and such as be faithful in love shall abide with him. For grace and mercy is to his saints, and he hath care for his elect. But the ungodly shall be punished according to their own imaginations, which is the flesh, which have neglected the righteous and forsaken the Lord. For whoso despises wisdom and nurture is miserable, and their hope is vain. See, their hope is vain. Jake done just throw away hope, man. Their labors unfruitful and their works unprofitable. Their wives are foolish and their children wicked. Their offspring is cursed. Wherefore blessed is the barren that is undefiled, which have not known a sinful bed. She shall have fruit in the visitation of souls. The point is, for whoso despises wisdom and nurture, he is miserable, and their hope is vain, their labors unfruitful, and their works unprofitable. And these guys that fell away when they came into the truth, they had hope of being against salvation. They lost that, man. They didn't keep the main thing, man. So somewhere down the line, the Lord took it away, man. And it's a terrible thing to fall into the hands of the Lord, man. Terrible. Horrifying, man. And we all think about it, man. We try not to, but it's reality, man. The Lord can take away, the Lord can take away what you got, man, and give it to somebody else. So Lord was edifying. Got to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Bahashim Yahweh Shah, Bahashim Rekat Kodash. The bonus to the apostles and the bishop and elders, a great millstone who teach well, who are the apostles and elders of all Israel, whether accepted or not. And a sincere salutation to all I can pushing this truth and believing this truth throughout the four winds of the earth, the entire world. We can the hope for the elect. Shalom to the outworld who are listening and learning. You for sisters who are listening and learning. The wife tuning in. Hey, how about Shema shall continue to bless you in your houses? Stay prayed up. Beautiful precept. Azariah Yahweh. Let's read this. Blessed are they which do hunger and thirst after righteousness, for they shall be filled, man. Hey, we think about the victory, man. We ain't in that war is me spirit, man. Get out of that, man. This not the war is me spirit, man. Hey, we right now the Lord, it say in Ecclesiastes 12:1 say, while the evil days come not, man, we are being built up in the spirit, man. Right now, ain't no time for war is me spirit, man. We turned up, man. So get out of that. I don't know if I'm doing enough. I don't know if the Lord gonna still use me. The Lord's still using you, man. So stop overthinking things, man. Stop overthinking. The Lord's still using you, man. Call out Yahweh Shema Shah. Shalom. Wa Abar Babar.